Hello, welcome back to One Piece One Takes. It's been a while, it's been like 2 weeks, I think. 2 weeks, was it? I don't know, but it's been a very long time, and I'm very glad and happy that I finally get to cover One Piece again because I've missed it. And yeah, we're back with chapter 1072. Uh, it's a crazy chapter. It's not, I wouldn't say it's crazy, but it's crazy. It's pretty crazy. So, yeah, I've missed this, and let's go. Got my notes on deck, and yeah, let's start this off with the title of the chapter, 1072. It's The Weight of Memory. Okay, so The Weight of Memory, and let's continue on with the cover story. So, in the cover story, we see a younger trio of Caesar, Queen, and Judge, in the Mads lab, I assume. And they're making, like, basically deadly weapons. And they're making, what seems to be, like, weapons that are catered to their own interests. So, I guess, Judge is making some sort of, like, cyborg stuff, I guess, maybe. Uh, and Queen's making some sort of like chemicals. Actually, I don't know if those two have weapons that relate to them specifically, but Caesar's definitely holding a sort of smile fruit, like a prototype, I guess. So that's why I came to assume that they're making, weapons that are specific to them, but it might just be that they're all trying to create a perfect, smile fruit, devil fruit, right? So anyway, that's all, and yeah, the cover story title is mass producing deadly weapons. Yeah. So let's start this off with it basically what appears to be like a note from the past, a note that Vegapunk wrote in some sort of, it seems like a note from like a diary or something. There's like a text box with a sort of, the font makes it seem like it's from a diary or something, and it possibly is. It probably is, and I'll explain it, and it'll come back full circle later on. So we start off with that note, and Vegapunk basically like written down something, and he says it states that even if the world does not accept how she came to be, she is undoubtedly human. Undoubtedly human. And that achievement is a huge step towards world peace. And I think we'll get to see that girl later. I don't know if it is her, but I think it is her. So anyway, to the present, like going back, we get to see Bonnie, who's actually crying on the floor, like fake crying as a child. Like she turned herself back into a child to like garner sympathy, and Vegapunk's worried, so he goes over to the child Bonnie to like help her because she's crying, right? And then she like has that look in her eye like and she just uses a move called Distorted Future, and she turns into like, how Luffy looked when he was in Gear 5, like that strongman look, like yeah, she turned into like a big like a version of that. And I assume Distorted Future is exactly what it says. It like goes back to her future self, goes into a future that isn't exactly hers, like how she regularly looks. And yeah, she turns into basically a strong woman, and she attempts to attack Vegapunk, but he dodges it. She attacks him with her pipe that she still has like from the previous chapter as a weapon, right? So she attacks, she misses, and she hits the wall, and rightfully so, she cracks the wall because she's very strong, right? So then Vegapunk's like pleading to her to, even if you kill me, I didn't want to kill Kuma and stuff like that, and then she uses uh, an attack called Timely Thrust, and basically when she thrusts her pipe onto Vegapunk, once it touches him, he turns into a kid, and basically he's freaking out, like, oh, what did you do to me? And she says that her powers aren't permanent on living things. And also, I just want to mention that I don't know if Vegapunk being turned into a child. So let's just say Luffy gets turned into a child as well from Bonnie. Will he still have the same capacity, like, of thinking that he has at the current moment, or will he like still stay as a, or will he like go back to like being Goo Goo Gaga, right? Because Vegapunk, even in his child or possibly baby form, because he looks like a baby more than a child, he's still basically him. So I don't know if Vegapunk's devil fruit is helping him in any way, if he was that smart to begin with when he was a child, or if people are able to retain their capacity of thinking even after being turned into a child. That I don't really know, but basically I just wanted to bring it up just because I was thinking about it. So anyway, she mentions that permanent living things, her powers aren't permanent on living things, right? And then Bonnie picks up Vegapunk and asks why he killed her father, and basically Vegapunk mentions that he can't like tell her that because it's Kuma's wishes, right? And then as they're going back and forth, we get to see Kuma, trying to climb the red line, and then the Marines show up at the red port to shoot him down. And then when he goes back onto the ground, he starts fighting the Marines because, I mean, rightfully so, right? The Marines don't want Kuma to get to Marijois, right? So then, like, as that's happening, we get to see Bonnie and Vegapunk like going back and forth as well. Like Bonnie's like just shouting "Liar, liar," and Vegapunk's like, "But your father, I won't betray your father's promise," stuff like that. And then Vegapunk mentions that he said it's been hard for him too, because if he could, he wishes he could forget about the whole ordeal, and mentions that Kuma is in fact a good man. And Bonnie's just had enough of it. He throws Vegapunk's child self onto the ground, and as she does that, she sees a big room with 2 sliding doors, and then on the doors they have a paw symbol. So she goes to the room, and then there's like do you call it a lever? There's something that you can pull to open it, but she can't, right? So she uses her power and basically rusts it, makes it old, and then it opens. So she gets into the room, and then she sees a big paw, and Vegapunk chases after her, and basically they find out that, or rather Bonnie finds out that that big paw right there is Kuma's memories. And Vegapunk mentions that she shouldn't go and like touch it, because she's familiar with his powers, and it's more than enough to kill a person. It looks like as big as the paw that Zoro took, previously. Like he said, nothing happened, right? His famous line. Yeah, that paw looks like it was as big as that. And Bonnie wants to go and see his memories, and Vegapunk mentions that, like, why he's saying that it could kill someone, or it kills someone, or it's more than enough to kill someone, is because the power, right? It more or less, the memories are all painful memories, I guess. That's why he's advising or warning Bonnie not to go and touch that thing, right? So as we see that unfold, then we cut to the rest of the crew, in the lab, like, worried, basically being worried. They're basically worried as the CP0 finally reached the outside of the lab, and yeah, they're talking about how Zoro and Brook are still there so they can help to defend. And then Shaka basically mentions that even if they're both strong, they're 2 against 7, if I believe, because the CP0 are with the Seraphim, right? And so it's difficult for them to even, like, defend against that, right? So then they mentioned that, I think Shaka was the one had mentioned that it was a mistake for CP0 to bring the Seraphim over so close to the remainder, to the punks, because Vegapunk and the punks have higher command. They're higher in the they're higher in the hierarchy of command when it comes to the Seraphim. So so Edison and Lilith, 2 of them, they're trying to rush over to, I guess, the Seraphim, because they want to take back control of them, right? So they're rushing over, and they hope that Zoro and Brook can defend properly against CP0 and the Seraphim. And then we see, Kaku attack Zoro with his nose gun, in his giraffe form, right? And Zoro defends. And then we see him being awakened, and again, I don't know how to feel about Zoans having this cloud thing, like awakened Zoans having this cloud thing, because Kaku also has one with his giraffe awakening form, and it's also black, same like Lucci. I don't really know how to feel about that, but I mean, it is what it is, right? It looks cool, I'm not gonna lie, but it's just, are they just all the same? Anyway, he uses the nose gun. Zoro defends. He uses another attack. Zoro defends, and Zoro says that he's tired of fighting critters like you, because, he's fought a lot of animal people in Wano as well, right? And then Zoro deflects him basically. After he says he's tired of all this nonsense, he deflects him. So I assume it's easily because he's the right hand man of Luffy, right? And he freaking beat Kaido's right hand man. Let me recall his name, King. So what's Kaku to him, right? Then Lucci orders the Seraphim to hurry and destroy the lab before the 2 punks can make their way over to, like, retrieve control again, right? And before I continue on, I forgot to mention that Sanji made a comment about, like, Zoro's gonna, like, Zoro's gonna die before we reach the One Piece when it's so close. And then Nami, like, freaking scolds him, right? Like rightfully so, right? Like, come on, help them out. And then she orders him to basically go help Zoro and Brooke, and Frankie also follows. And then, yeah, continuing on to Lucci ordering the Seraphim to attack the lab. They do attack the lab, and I assume Mihawk's rather S-Hawk is the one who cut like a piece off of the lab. I mean, there was a very evident cut, so it probably was him. And as they're doing that, Kaku was like, wow, they're so flashy, and like they're basically doing our job for us. And as he says that, we see Stussy like out of nowhere just bite him. And then Lucci and Kaku are like, what? Startled, Then Kaku, a moment later, he just drops to the ground, like, he just drops unconscious, And then Lucci's like, what are you doing? And then Stussy, tells him that he can join Kaku in a nap, And that's the last panel. And we get to see Stussy with fangs and wings. So I assume it's a vampire fruit. And why? And just because of this, it made the chapter crazy for me. The last panel, we get an introduction of Stussy, a real introduction. Turns out she's a successful clone from Mads. Let's get my notes here. I don't want to be wrong. Yeah, she's a successful clone of Mads. Stussy, Unit 01, and is a clone of Miss Buckingham Stussy of the Rocks Pirates. Bruh! Come on! It's crazy! Like, what? From the Rocks Pirates? I don't know. I don't know if I'm overreacting or what. I don't think I am. Maybe I am, but that's crazy, right? First of all, a vampire fruit, and just with a bite, she can bring down an awakened Zoan. And Kaku's like no slouch as well. He's freaking strong in the One Piece world, so just bringing him down just like that from a single bite. And she's a clone, and Mad's first clone, Unit 01, Stussy. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not too sure if the girl that they were referring to, that Vegapunk was referring to in his first note, was referring to her, but I'm pretty sure it's her. Because from the whole time we've seen her in this series, I assume she was the clone all along. She's been, acting like a normal person, right? And the note even mentions that it does not matter how she came to be, even if the world doesn't accept how she came to be. But she is undoubtedly, why do I keep saying that? Undoubtedly human. And that's what she is. She's a clone, but she's human. So I think that's referring to her. Most likely is, might not be, but that's crazy. So Miss Buckingham Stussy of the Rocks Pirates. And because she's from the Rocks Pirates, she's bound to be very strong at the very least, right? So it's also it's no wonder why a single bite. Maybe it might just be because of the power of the fruit, but it might also be because she's a clone of someone who's immensely strong, who was in the Rocks Pirates. And it's kind of interesting to think about, like, if Kaido or Big Mom, see her, would they recognize her? Would she recognize them? And would Blackbeard recognize her, right? So many things, and crazy. Like, it's crazy. I can't wait for next week. Hopefully there's no break. I don't know. It's crazy. I'd give this a 9 out of 10. Not much action besides Zoro and Kaku like clashing, but doesn't matter. We get to see a new Rocks crew member. The heck? It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh my god. Maybe it's just me because I've been missing One Piece for like 2 weeks. You know, obviously Oda and crew have to have a good rest, have a good New Year's rest, right? Because they've been working so hard. They've been producing freaking bangers after bangers. Even this one is a banger. But yeah, glad hopefully they're all rested. Hopefully they're ready to go and pump out like some more sick content. If they need a break, they should take a break. I can wait. But yeah, crazy chapter. 1072. 9 out of 10. I mean, not much else to say. We get to see a Rocks pirate. I don't know, again, you might think I'm overreacting, but I'm not. I don't know why, but that information is very cool. Yeah, it's such a twist too. Because I genuinely wasn't expecting it, right? I wasn't. I knew she was aloof and like just following around the CP0, but I didn't think she would actually be like, you know, I didn't think she would actually not be on their side. Granted, I don't know if she's also on the side of justice or like, not justice per se, but like Luffy's crew, right? So she might be working for someone else entirely, right? But crazy. I don't know. I could keep rambling on and on, but I don't want to waste you guys' time. So yeah, we're back. Hopefully, there are no breaks in the near future. But if there are breaks, I will be doing some other reviews. I've been reading a lot of manga, so I might do some rom-com reviews. Not reviews, but maybe just talking about it. Plain. But yeah, I'm gonna end it shortly. Yeah, if there's any break, I'll probably be talking about Chainsaw Man. Chojin X is a good one. Other romance stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna try to be more consistent with other things, you know, with YouTube. So I'll try to post at least once a week, you know. Yeah, that's all. One Piece, one takes. A crazy chapter, not the longest, not the shortest. Single-handedly, that last 2 panels or last 3 panels with Stussy. Crazy stuff, right? Alright, that's all. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe. You know, if you want me to do anything else, please comment down below. If you have any criticisms, please comment down below. I hope this format is all good, like, because for one, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm lazy to edit, but if you really want editing, put it down in the comments. If you're okay with this, put it down in the comments. If you want other things, put it down in the comments. Like, subscribe. That's all. Thanks, guys, and have a good weekend. Also, in Singapore, or basically around the world, around this time, yeah, it's gonna be like Chinese New Year, right? So, happy Chinese New Year, I guess. Kong Si Fa Chao. Kong Si Fa Chao. Kong Si Fa Chai, Hong Pao Nalai, give me the money. Sing Yang Kuai Le. Happy New Year, guys. See you next week.